Come on, this is Cookie Mania.
When you're little like that, you're always nervous.
I know.
I'm her mom. You stick the
Are we live? All right. I'm going to call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for February 12th, 2025 to order. It is 7 o'clock. May I please have a roll call?
You may. Craig.
Here.
Becky. Ross.
Here.
Barry.
Here.
Joyce.
Here.
David.
Here.
All right. Let's go ahead and have prayer,
Can we
David.
ask for
Oh,
a
I'm sorry.
motion?
Yes, we do have a council member down, so may I please have a motion to excuse her?
Have that.
Thank you. David.
That
Barry?
was David. Barry. Okay, roll call. Craig.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
David.
All right. Thank you. Let's bow our heads, please.
Lord, be with our village tonight, Lord. Be with our council, our mayor, and our town protection. Be with the village citizens tonight, Lord. And Lord, be with our country tonight, Lord. And have your holy hand above us all, Lord. For you're the great one, Lord. You are our Savior and are the one who helps us in our time of need and time of what we need. And Lord, bless our president and our country. In Jesus' wonderful, wonderful name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, may I please have a motion to approve the following minutes? We have a work session which was held on January 23rd, 2025, and a council meeting held on January the 27th, 2025.
You have that motion.
Thank you, David. Is there a second, please? Thank you, Ross.
David. Ross. Roll call. Craig.
Yes.
Ross. Yes. Barry.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Okay, motion's carried.
All right, Mayor's report. I'm going to keep my comments very brief tonight because I have specific comments when we go around for committee meetings, but suffice to say, I'm very pleased we're making progress on our water tower, and we'll get to specifics on that. I'm going to leave you a little bit in suspense because we got a lot of people who want to speak tonight. But we have comments to make. I have comments to make on that, and I'm proud of this place. We're making progress. So I'll get to that in just a little bit, and I'll hand it off and give our pro tem Joyce Phillips here just a second.
Thank you. I want to say good evening. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate seeing everyone on this rainy evening. First of all, since our last meeting, I want to clarify some things that have been brought to the attention of council. I also want to welcome our Girl Scouts this evening, too. It's a pleasure to see them. We have some changes that have been suggested to the Parks and Rec committees that have absolutely been miscommunicated. The changes that we have proposed, make no mistake, have no effect on any programming, funding, or maintenance carried out at Mason Park. Let me be clear, nothing is changing regarding the way the Youth League does business or how our park is used or maintained. Committees are valuable, but they can only make recommendations. Everything, as always, must always be taken to council for consideration and vote. Programming for our parks, recs, for everything in our village is a community effort. There are many programs we would like to see at our park. It's been mentioned, splash pad, pool, dog park, more programming, more swings. And we would love to have all of these things. We would love to have more room for these things. We would love to have the money for these things. But unfortunately, we just got out of a 4-year fiscal emergency. I believe we were in it from 2017 to 2022. This council saw that through, and it was a tough process. We were broke. We had auditors in here every week breathing down our neck, making sure that every penny was accounted for. And through the wonderful guidance of our mayor and our fiscal officer and the council and the committees, we got out of fiscal emergency in 2022. So thank you. I would like to personally thank you guys for that. And so for us to go out and just say, we can get a grant and we can do all of these things is a wonderful, wonderful thing to vision down the road. And I hope we can do those things for our youth someday. But right now, in today's world, it is not possible. We can plan for it, but right now, unfortunately, it is not a reality. I know that there are other resources in our village that are working with us, and together, they are combining forces to have wonderful celebrations in our village. I know we're having Summer Jam. I would assume, I don't know it, I assume we are having a Summer Jam. I know we have Next Gen Daycare Activity Center. They're working hard to create more programming for our youth. We have a community center. They work very hard to create programming for our youth. Aren't they amazing, Becky? They're wonderful. Yeah, I hear people saying they want to volunteer. You can't volunteer for council, but you certainly can volunteer at the community center. They would love to have you. I'm sure the Youth League would love to have you. There's all kinds of volunteer opportunities for you here. So I'm not quite sure where the miscommunication is on the volunteerism, because there's plenty of places to volunteer. The American Legion holds bingo. It's on a pause right now due to equipment failure. They're hoping to get that up and running. They're having a huge 4th of July event, and they're inviting the community into it. So, you know, we don't just sit up here and twiddle our thumbs. We're not lazy people. We work very hard. So we want you to understand, you can come to us anytime you have a question about anything. We are transparent. We are an open book on anything you want to know. We will be more than glad to tell you. We will be more than glad to take your suggestions, to listen to your complaints. Let us know what you want. We hear you, and we will respond, and we will respond immediately. All we need to do is have you come, as you have come this meeting and the last meeting, and talk to us. We welcome you, and we thank you for being here this evening. And I hope God blesses each and every one of you that are here tonight. We appreciate all of your input. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now let's move to public comment and visitors. The first troop that we have up, Becky Brown. You want to come on down with your friends here? All right. Yeah, let's use this one so you can all crowd around, and then if you guys want to do one right in front of the camera right here, you can do that too. Yes, please do, right there. Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for allowing our troop to speak.
Oh, it's working. Go ahead. You're good.
Thank you all for allowing our troop to speak today. I'm Sophia Brown and I'm a cadet.
Come on down. Come on down. We got somebody else? Come on. You're good.
Say Becca Brown and you're a brownie.
Hi, my name is Becca Brown, and I'm a brownie.
Olivia.
Hi, my name is Olivia, and I'm a junior.
And Emma.
Hi, my name is Emma Thomas, and I'm a brownie.
Welcome.
Rebecca.
We have been learning the 5 skills for the Girl Scout cookie program in our meetings and are ready to practice them with our community.
And Emma's going to read the 5 skills that we've learned.
Absolutely.
Goal settings, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics.
Business ethics. And then you're going to read 9 and 10 in the microphone.
We want to represent Mount Sterling by providing cookies, meeting our community, and practice skills that are girl-led so we can become the best future leaders. Requesting permission to our secure town treasure cookie booth at Town Hall.
Dates.
Dates: Friday, February 21st, Saturday 22nd, and Sunday 23rd, 2025. Time: daylight hours 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in 2-hour shifts.
May I please have a motion to accept this young lady's request to set up a cookie booth? Is there a motion from the floor?
I'll say, go ahead, Bear.
So that was Craig?
Yes.
And
I'll second it.
Thank you.
then Barry?
Yes.
Okay, and just to
One-
reiterate, can we please just make sure that, so that the public knows, and we can give you guys some opportunity to
Yeah.
advertise and, exploit. So it's February the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd, and I have written at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, on all those days?
Yes.
Okay, and your location of where you would like to sell those at?
Town hall and the gazebo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so that would be Town Hall and the gazebo.
We'll have to call it Mount Sterling Girl Scout Cookie Big Day for y'all. Yeah,
Alright,
that,
so we have the motion here to allow that to, those events to happen. That was Craig, seconded by Barry. Roll call. Craig?
yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And David?
Yes.
And the motion has been carried.
Absolutely, congratulations. All right, every one of you in this room, at least 2 boxes of Samoas.
Can we put our order in now?
Everybody. Now, Sheriff, I'm holding you for 3 boxes of Samoas.
So Becky, just to,
Yeah, here's
make sure that
paperwork,
if-
right?
If you're not able to come out to the events during these days, how can they get a hold of you guys? How can they order through Cash Apps? Is there a certain website that we would like to share?
You come up here and put it into the microphone. And by the way, we can leave this in the lobby in case if that would be helpful.
Flyers.
Okay.
Okay.
How do we order online?
Digital Cookie. You can contact us through Digital Cookie.
Digitalcookie.com.
Nope, it's a link.
It's a link?
And we'll
Okay.
add those to the flyers too. There's a
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys do really well this year. Do you have a goal? Have you set a goal yet?
They surpassed their goal for initial cookie order already.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thanks. That's awesome.
Our campsite, which they already surpassed their goal, so we have a camp trip planned in July and to repay like membership.
Are you
fees.
guys going to Kenjockety?
Yes, we are going to.
I'm a Girl Scout dad, and we had many happy trips to Kenjockety.
Have you visited the STEM Center there?
We have not since I think they put some money into it,
Oh,
but
yeah. The STEM Center is awesome.
is it?
BJ.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
But we'll bring out some flyers for advertisement. and stuff.
That would be great.
We
Thank you.
Get it approved first, then we can advertise.
Congratulations. Yes, you're all in. Good
Well,
deal.
girls, when
It's
you go to camp, you might meet Yogi Bear. Hey,
in Hilliard.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Good
Good
luck.
luck on your campaign.
That was cool.
Okay, Madison, next up, we're going to do some department reports. Madison County Sheriff's Department. You, sir, are up. David, would you mind lending? There you sir. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I skipped past. Pardon me. I got all flustered with the thought of Thin Mints in my brain. Cheryl Trimble. I apologize. I skipped past you. Come on down. Would you please? And everybody, we're trying to hold to 3 minutes, so we do have business tonight. So go ahead, Cheryl.
So please state your
State
first
your
and last
name.
and where you reside at.
Cheryl Trimble, 62 East Main Street here in Mount Sterling. And I'm here in support of the creation of the Tree and Beautification Committee. That's ordinance 2024-10. And here also to answer any questions that you all may have. Representative this evening.
Questions for Cheryl tonight. Cheryl's been a long time serving member of our Tree Beautification Committee.
There's a lot of great
And
things.
you also support us with trees, don't you, at Darby Creek?
I am a horticulturist with over
Yeah.
30 years' experience.
That's, yeah.
Used to be the Pickaway County Master Gardener Coordinator, helped Madison County get re-established here in Madison County, and,
So you can tell me the difference between a weed and a flower.
oh, many times.
All right.
But a weed is any plant that's out of place.
That's right. I like
They're
that.
beautiful weeds.
There are many beautiful weeds. Just look at my lawn. Yeah.
So, 3 of us attended the Tree Academy from the Department of Forestry the last 2 days.
Okay.
And we've had some really appreciated your support, and we've had Arbor Day celebrations, free tree giveaways, leaf bag giveaways, and we now feel like we are beginning to get the structure to help reestablish the tree canopy in Mount Sterling. And
Yeah, when
Department
folks
of-
look at historical pictures here, if you go down to the museum, if you look at Mount Sterling in like the 60s and early 70s, this place had a complete tree canopy all the way
all the way
on
through
most
town.
streets, and it was impressive. Very
So
impressive.
with help from the Department of Natural Resources, Department of Forestry, it's a wonderful thing that we'd like to see for the future generations reestablished in Mount Sterling.
We are Tree City. We'll be putting our signs up here. We just got them.
I
They're in the
saw them
lobby
in the
over there.
lobby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So does anyone have
Any
any
que- any
questions?
questions?
Big trees, when I was about the size of them little kids here, there used to be the biggest oak tree, it used to be set right here in this square.
Oh,
Yeah,
in front of
years
the
ago.
apartment building.
And it was planted to honor the World War I veterans. I'm a big history buff, and they planted it, it stayed there until it caught a disease, and they had to cut it down, I think, in 1969 or 70. But
We were just
it was here a
kids.
long time.
Yep.
And there's something about a tree, once you get in the ground, it's God, I say it's God's way of saying, here I am. And when
And
you can see
strong and invincible.
Yeah.
We hope to be dedicating for the Heritage Day, the oldest tree in the city, which is off of 207 over by the, what is it, the
Water
water
plant,
treatment
yeah.
plant. And
Is that the
that's-
100-year-old tree at
It's
the
over
park?
200 years old, probably.
Oh, so it's not at the park. Okay.
It's right beside the water.
Yeah, water treatment
Right
plant.
behind the park.
There
Okay.
was a big restoration committee last year that went out and cleared out all the brush and the weeds and all the junk that had formed up around the tree for many years. And we're working also with our state forester in the preservation of it. So we hope to dedicate it to the village this year for the Heritage Day.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions for Cheryl?
So we appreciate
Well,
your
thank you.
support.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
out, and let's get those Tree City signs up. All right, our next speaker is Jacob Keever. Please come on down. Please state your name and address.
Jacob Keever, 559 Wingate Place, Mount Sterling, Ohio. Cheryl, I'm also on the tree committee. We ask that you, a part of that committee, is that you allow us to apply for the grant, the ODNR. It's a no-match grant, kind of like normal grants. If you could just put that to the motion, just so that we can apply for it, because the deadline is in April 1st, and it will need 3 readings.
Yeah.
And then the parks part, why I came here to talk about, I just want to make sure that you guys got that for sure. It's about transparency. It's about making sure we never end up back in fiscal emergency because of mismanagement. I don't care if the village runs the committee. I don't care who runs the committee. Just don't disband the committee without assigning responsibility. I've never thought things were gonna just stop. I just want transparency, accountability, a point of contact to this committee, to this council, so that when you guys do vote, you're voting maybe a bad ideal down, maybe a good ideal, but it's all checks and balances to me. So I'm gonna
Can-
leave it at that.
Yeah.
Can I ask, you're asking us for transparency. What have we not been transparent about?
Well, people don't know what the committee's doing, especially if the committee ain't meeting. Like, when was the last parks meeting?
I think the last park meeting was in August, but that doesn't have anything to do with reorganizing the committee.
But don't you think people should know what's
We-
going
we
on,
to-
and
we
what
told
your
them.
ideals are?
Yeah, we brought it to a meeting and we told them. I mean, what more can we do? If they don't come to the meetings anyway, sir, they don't come. We're televised or we're videoed so they can watch that. I'm not sure how we can communicate to them any more than that. How did you find out?
Well, because I know most of you guys on the committee, but most people aren't like me that know you guys directly. Like, I've got people that are like, I want to get my kid in football.
That's a
But they
youth
don't
league.
realize, yeah,
Yeah,
but that's a decision that you guys also, that committee makes.
what
No,
decision
no,
is
sir.
that?
No, sir. We don't, no, that committee does not have anything to do with football decisions. That is the youth league. That would be
Well, I
Kathy
know earlier in
Carson.
the year, you guys talked about bringing on extra sports.
We
and
talked
you
about
talked
additional
about bringing on-
programming, additional
which also
programming.
brought on soccer.
And
But
they
I'm
never
not here
did.
to argue with you. I'm just here to tell you what I think,
Yeah.
and if we disagree, we disagree.
Yeah.
No, we're not disagreeing. I'm just telling you, we are transparent. We do get the word out the best of our ability. This is great. I'd love to see this every meeting.
Yeah.
And get the word out, absolutely.
Yeah, so in the interest of, we do have other speakers, there is one comment unfortunately I have to make about your grant. So as everyone understands, President Trump has issued a series of executive orders which has frozen significant amounts of federal funding for grants in basically everywhere. This urban forestry grant program is funded by a Inflation Reduction Act federal grant, 23 DG 1109 4200-363. That's a mouthful, by the way. And all of the grant funding that I can determine is on hold. So I don't believe there's any applications going forward on it, and I have a word out to ODNR to see when they expect that to freeze up, or free up, not freeze up, free up. So I would recommend that we hear back from ODNR directly as to what they're expecting to do, because I fully expect these dates to start moving out. There's no way. If it's frozen right now and it's frozen for 90 days by order of the President of the United States, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to move this out if it's not canceled. So I would highly recommend that your committee continue to meet and get their plans together, because when I saw this afternoon, I was like, oh, it's kind of empty in here, and we probably need a little more understanding about, if the feds are going to let us do any of this at all. So let's work together. Let's see what we can put some plans in here and if it's going to be feasible at all. So if I could, can we meet back at the next tree meeting and have a conversation about this?
Have a special session, like a work session, just for the grant on Monday?
The 17th.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that, but that sounds good. We can have a discussion. Yeah.
And we were with the ODNR district reps
Yep.
today at the Tree Academy, and they knew that all of us, all the attendees were working on grants.
Yeah.
And didn't
Yeah.
have anything that.
I know, it's hard.
Very hard.
Yeah, it's very hard,
We're
so,
all acting, going through the
Yeah.
motions as if
yeah.
trees may be left to.
Yeah, and, it's one of those things where we can't figure out how much we're really eligible for and whether it would go through the finance process without going through the federal. So for everybody in here, you get scored according to a website which unfortunately no longer exists. It was taken down last week. And so we don't know how many points we would score and therefore how much we would be eligible for in order to even figure out if we have the money to do it.
Or do we even
So-
qualify?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is we go on points, and to make a long story short, I'm happy to work with you guys to see if this is feasible. And like I said, I reached out to ODNR this morning directly and asked my rep, like, where are we with this? And I have not heard back. So the moment I hear back, you'll hear back.
Barry, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I wanted to speak what Jacob was saying. I think there's a lot of confusion about this Parks and Rec Committee, so I want to clarify for everybody what was planned. Right now, if you're not familiar with how it works, 3 members of this committee, who a lot of them last week said they did not like, are on that committee along with Kathy Carson. That's the committee. They make all the decisions. Whatever they decide, they bring back to themselves and 3 others to decide on the fate of if they should proceed on something or they shouldn't proceed. What we, as a committee, wanted to do was, I think, thought is better to the people. People have, it's for the people, by the people. What do you want to do? What ideals do you have? So that's why we thought it'd be a good idea to have a Friends of the Park where the people decide what they want to do with the park. The people decide what they want to bring, the fresh ideals. But that didn't seem to be what everybody wanted last week. They want it the way it is right now. If that's the way you want it, so we'll go back to that way. We'll get 3 members of council in there and Kathy Carson. And if that's the way you want it, I'm fine with that. But we were trying to do the community a favor and let them have a voice. But I don't know where you heard all this other stuff, but that's not true. We were trying to spread the ideals to get fresh ideals in. But if you just want 3 members of council and Kathy Carson on that committee, I'm fine with it. That's
Okay,
all.
Councilman, you're fine. All right,
So-
Julie Davis, come on down, please.
No, I think we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
It was recommended.
Please state your name and address.
Julie Davis, and I live at 560 Wingate Place North.
All right.
I grew up in Mount Sterling. All my young life, I was a lifeguard. Didn't save anyone's life, but I blew my whistle once or twice. Thank you all. I know that what you do often probably gets taken for granted, so I'm grateful for the work. I'm grateful for some great things that have happened in our village, and no doubt a lot of those are from your efforts, so thank you. We recently moved back to Ohio. We were gone for a couple years, and we chose specifically to live in Mount Sterling. We have 9 children, 6 that still live at home. So you can imagine that this Parks and Rec issue is near and dear specifically to my heart. Recently, I've started listening to the meetings online, and from a perspective, I don't regularly follow city council actions, but from my perspective, what I can see related to the park over the last recent meetings appear to be based more on personal animosity, maybe, than what's best for the people in Mount Sterling. You mentioned what we desire, and I feel like everyone who's spoken from the community is saying, hey, we desire this committee to continue. It worries me a little bit that the Parks and Rec seems like it should be pretty non-confrontational. It does make me a little concerned about other matters, how those get handled. I did have one specific question. Are there, right now, how many of the other committees are looking at being disbanded right now?
We disbanded safety, and we actually didn't really disband it. We kind of put it onto streets because they kind of went together.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was all.
So
That's all
this
we
is.
But let me
this is
clarify, we're not trying to
Disbanding it.
disband the
Sure,
committee.
but-
reorganizing it.
Absolutely, but changing. And I guess I'm thinking that if this specific committee is the only one, then that tells us a little bit maybe about the motivations. Recommendations are voted on by council, but they need pursued and they need suggested before that they can even be brought to council. As a member of city council, and as you make this vote, I ask you to hear our voices, hear the people you're representing. You said you want to know what we want. You want to hear us. We place a high value on having this committee working hard to maintain and to better our parks. We don't want this committee dissolved and issues simply handled by a general council. As you vote today, I'd ask you put aside personal issues for the sake of my children, their children, the community children. They deserve our best. A community isn't defined by what it says it values. It's defined by what it fights to protect. Voting to keep our Parks and Recreation Committee isn't just a choice, but it's a statement that we care about where we live, where we play, where we grow together. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, though? So you're saying that you want to keep everything exactly the way it is? Exactly the way it is?
There may be some personnel, certainly I don't want
Yeah.
animosity amongst members, and so if
Right.
something personal plays out, then I would think that council certainly could work
But you wouldn't want
together.
the public to have say-so?
I think that if we did that, why wouldn't we also do that with the other committees? You're only suggesting this for the Parks and Rec Committee, which we know
Well-
there's been animosity on.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Let's open up all the committees then.
Well,
for that.
nuisance and
Well,
abatement, I have an opening if you would like to be on that.
You can't do that with all the committees because you have finance and you have water.
Sure.
But we
and
do
the-
need somebody on
yeah.
nuisance.
Yeah.
And I've lived in the village since October, so I'm
You have to be here
excited
for
to
a
hear
year.
more, but give me some patience.
Talk to that guy right
Thanks,
there.
Julie. Thank you
All
very
right,
much,
thank you
Julie.
very much. Our last one tonight, Melanie Fritz. Come on down.
My name's Melanie Fritz. I'm at 471 Wingate Place.
Perfect.
So, I'd like to piggyback off of the question that Joyce asked Jacob when she said, when are we not transparent? I would like to ask you guys, did you guys recently hold a work session to discuss rules of council again? Okay. Is there a reason that wasn't recorded?
It was recorded, but
Yeah,
okay, go
it
ahead.
was.
It was recorded?
It was
And it was
recorded.
open to the public.
I missed it. Oh, well, I don't,
Minutes can be requested as well.
okay. And I'm just finding out that you guys had that work session. I don't follow the local Mount Sterling web page every day to check and see how often you guys added some meetings, took away meetings, all that. I'm busy. I'm a mom. I work. I got things going on. And I know I've heard like the mayor say that he's not on Facebook or he doesn't do Facebook or things, but maybe you guys could reach out in other ways that aren't just posting it on your specific website, because unless I go on Google, put in the Village of Mount Sterling, I'm not going to get that information. So maybe if you guys could publicize those a little better than just putting it on the main website, you could have a better response, because I know that there's specific meetings every other, but like the committee meetings, those aren't recorded. Those are all done, you know, here with notes taken. But you want better transparency. I feel like you could reach out a little bit more. You know, I've heard the mayor say, you can find me, I'm out walking the village. Well, I've never seen him walking in my neighborhood. So does he go on the other side of the tracks? I have no idea, but I feel like you guys want us to come to you and volunteer and do things. Reach out a little bit more to the community. We have multiple Mount Sterling Facebook pages. Throw a post on there. Hey, we're gonna have a work session if anybody's interested in coming. So that was his, but that's not why I came up here. I just wanted to.
You've got about a minute or so
Okay.
left here.
So I wanted to ask, is things changing from the original vote that you guys held 2 weeks ago? Are we voting the same exact thing? Nothing's changed, not adding verbiage to that document?
Yeah, there is a change. So a recommendation was taken out of the work session to bring to council to change and make edits to rules of council.
And those changes are regarding the committee?
Correct.
Okay, and what is that change exactly?
The change, according to the ordinance here, let me go ahead and pull this out here. The ordinance would state that the Parks and Rec would have one village council member, the financial officer, clerk of council, the mayor, one representation from the Mount Sterling Eagles Athletic Association, and 3 village residents.
And they have to be village residents?
Village residents.
Okay.
Taxpayers.
So, it's people who pay taxes. Okay, I get that. I'm gonna ask you guys to amend that, because do you know what the name of our park is?
Yeah,
What is it?
Mason Park.
Mason Park. Do you know why it's called Mason Park?
Because we purchased it from them.
It was donated?
It was not.
Okay, well, the Masons graciously let us buy that, probably at a very discounted rate.
It was
to
over
keep it as a park.
$200,000.
Okay, that's very reasonable. So, you would deny them the ability to
It's open
sit-
access to anybody.
You just said you have to be residents. You would deny
To
them
be
a
on the
spot on the
committee.
committee?
Yeah, I would.
Because, do you
they're
know
not
what the Masons
taxpayers.
do for our community?
They are wonderful.
Yeah, you are the chair of nuisance and
Yeah.
abatement, right?
They are wonderful.
Unfortunately, our
So
time.
you are leading up.
Unfortunately,
the
our time was.
cleanup days, and they donate a dumpster, and you guys would turn them down, and,
Do they want to be on that council, by the way? I don't think they've asked, so, that committee.
well, I feel like
Friends,
you
we
should
got to
open
wind it
more.
up. We got business, and the 3 minutes are up. Thank you very much for speaking, and we'll get to official business here in just a moment. Thank you for everyone who came out tonight to give their comments this evening. We do need to move to department reports. Sheriff, you are up, sir. Would you please take a microphone over here and give us a little bit of what's going on in the village from your perspective?
Okay. I'm Deputy Hudson.
Nice
with
to
the
meet you,
Sheriff's
Deputy.
Office. I'm usually down here on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. So from January 27th to February 10th, we had a total of 72 calls of service down here. Say, like, for instance, there was 2 mental health calls down here. We had 2 domestic dispute calls. I also see that we had 3 animal complaints. We had 2 suspicious vehicles and 2 suspicious persons that we responded to. Also, there was 30 traffic violations that we stopped.
Wow.
But I'm not sure about how many citations were issued at that time, so.
Okay. And council have any questions for the sheriff this evening? That's a good report. Sounds like it's down. Our numbers are down a little bit.
Yes.
What was the total bottom number?
72.
72. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On the animal complaints, were any of them dog bites?
Um,
Or
It doesn't clarify that if it was, I know I had one last night, a dog on the roof of the house.
Yeah.
At 301 West Columbus.
Okay.
But, it wasn't running loose off of the
Okay.
property per se. so.
I'm just curious. 'cause
Wow.
They had that situation in Circleville where a pit bull.
The lady
You killed that lady.
yeah.
That was a bad one.
That was not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Thanks, sir.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
thank you, Sheriff. We appreciate it. We do not have a law director's report tonight. We'll do that next go-around. Zoning and building, we also next go-around. So that goes to our fiscal officer and clerk of council, Courtney Brigger.
All right, so, any questions from council at all on your packets? Again, the reason why we're holding the meeting tonight is due to illnesses and why we've changed some of those days, so in case people are wondering why it's on a Wednesday.
I apologize, that's me. I had the flu. Wash your hands.
Yeah, and then everybody else had it too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, as we wind down the year-end stuff, I think I've reported this the last 3 meetings, is that all of my changes, all of my amounts and things are reviewed by the state auditors. That is a requirement of every entity. Again, once we have gotten the clear and they approve it, it then gets posted and then everybody can view any of the financials on the ohiocheckbook.com. Again, anybody can view that, once those get uploaded. Usually I do that after the year-end stuff is completed and approved by the state auditors. So, again, I don't want to steal thunder from some of the people that are going to report in some of their committees or whatever, but the water tower vendors and things, I will be setting up with them, so we will be starting that process about dispersing and sending monies out to contractors, to engineers. Once these water plant tower plans are built, you guys will see new vendors on your payment receipts, okay? So those will be from a couple different vendors that we will be setting up. So I will be working on that when those constructions for the water tower payments are going to be submitted. So you will see some of those new vendors on there. Again, I do encourage anybody and everybody to please, if you have any questions about the finances, you can please contact me. You can come here to Town Hall, you can send me an email, my information is on the website. So if there are any questions that anybody has, please feel free to do that. With that said, if I don't have any other questions or comments from council here, we will be approving the appropriation status report, the receipt listing report, the revenues listing report, the payment listing report, the comparison of budget and appropriated reports, the cash summary by fund, and your reader reports.
May I please have a motion to approve the financial reports tonight?
Have that motion.
Thank you, David.
Second.
Thank you, Craig.
That was David, Craig, and we'll do roll call. Ross?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Okay, you guys will be approving the January and February bank reconciliation statements and reports probably at the end of this month, if not the first meeting of March. I will have this for you guys to sign and pass around. I do have one more edit, is we are about finished with the audit. So just in case anybody also would like to know publicly, is an audit is performed here at the village every other year. And we pay about $20,000 to do so. So what happens is we send it to an independent consultant that is approved by the state auditors, the state. So Faber, all the auditors that are up there, they review that. So right now, we are going through that audit process right now. There has been no findings for recoveries at all. We are just waiting back for that report. So a lot of thanks to following a process, being under financial emergency. Again, that has really helped everybody in finance and as well as council to make sure that process is correct and make sure that we are following procedures. So again, state does audit every other month. Okay? Is there any questions? Concerns?
Thoughts?
Okay?
All right,
Finished
thank
with my
you.
report.
Wonderful, thank you. We're going to move on to committee reports tonight. We've got to keep on a clip here. Finance, Joyce, please.
Yes, thank you. We did have an opportunity to meet this afternoon, the Finance Committee. We were able to go over some grants that were being looked at and what makes sense to look at a little bit further, making sure that the grants that we're looking at do not have a match, and these are something that we are sure that we qualify for. We looked at the funding for the upcoming water tower project. All of that has been finalized. We're glad to say that that process is completed. We signed purchase orders and other financials for 2025. And our next meeting will be held on March 5th at 11 o'clock a.m.
Okay, thank you. Squad, Joyce.
Yes, that meeting starts at 8 o'clock this evening. I will be running over there as soon as I leave here this evening.
You got it. Fire, Ross.
The new fire engine has been sent from the origination factory back down here. It should be here in any moment now.
Oh, good.
The fire department hired 2 new firefighters, Eric Spahn and Kevin Bentley. Austin Fultz has resigned, and Walter Nader was terminated. They applied for a firefighters grant, but they have not got any results on that yet. They're 20 calls ahead of last year, and the next meeting is Wednesday, the 26th.
Let's not have 20 calls ahead of last year. That's not a good thing. Sorry to hear that. Okay, thank you for your report. Water, wastewater, Craig.
Yesterday, we had our meeting, and we, as Courtney said, we discussed the water tower. We also discussed the Spring Street sanitary sewer system line we're wanting to put in, probably start this fall. That's through a grant that we got for that, and we also found that the bid for the water tower was through Louisville Tanks. Fabrication for the tank will probably begin around April of the tank. Our distribution maintenance, which consists of flushing the fire hydrants, exercising the valves of the main water lines, and also flushing the lines. And that's all I had on that. Our next meeting will be March 5th at 10 a.m.
The only comments I have, I promise you some mayor's comments. This was a project that started almost 5 years ago. It has gone in fits and starts. Funding wasn't really even on the horizon until 3 years ago. And it wasn't really until, as Craig said, this past fall that we even nailed it down completely. It is like one of those things, it's you can't believe that it's actually happening. So right now, as we're speaking, there is a empty factory in Louisville, Kentucky, where they're going to start sheet metal forming a tank for us, and it will be shipped to us. And it will be built piece by piece, Lego by Lego, right in the middle of our town. And I can't thank enough all of those people who, whether you were a resident or the engineer or our clerk or anybody else who is helping us with this, it has been such a journey. You just don't, a town our size just doesn't go build one of these things. And you just don't get it out of a catalog, and everything is tailored to you. So I really appreciate all of the effort. Obviously, it's not built yet, and the old one hasn't been taken down. This is going to be another about 16 months in progress. So what I can say is watch us grow. Just watch it come up. It'll be a fascinating sight. So if somebody wants to take time-lapse camera photos, let's do that. That would be so cool to see.
It would be.
All right, let's do streets. Ross.
I don't have anything at the moment. We didn't have a meeting.
We're going to have a meeting soon. All right.
It's going to be February the 24th is our next meeting at 6 p.m.
Okay.
We meet next Wednesday at Parker.
Okay, we're just ironing out the schedule there. All right, Parks and Recs, Joyce.
Yes, I have not put it on the calendar yet. I was just asking Barry. I think we're going to set a meeting for Park and Rec for February 19th at 10 o'clock a.m., and that would be next Wednesday.
Got it. Record retention, David.
Yes, we will be meeting, usually we meet on the first Friday since the sickness. We'll be meeting this Friday at 8 a.m., going through the records, and it's a slow process, but we've got more done in the last year than been ages, and you're talking 10, 20 years of stuff, but a lot of historical documents we go through and take time, so we'll be at it Friday morning at 8 a.m.
Okay, thank you. Nuisance abatement, Barry.
Yeah, we just had a meeting tonight, and we met with the Church of the Nazarene, Pastor Phil, and I'm going to mess up Jeff Precise. They came down and met with us about spring cleanup. They are going to head this, as they always do, and they told us it's going to be the first weekend in May. So as it gets closer, we're going to try to work with them to publicize it to the community. As far as nuisance abatement, we just assigned roles tonight. We are still looking from anybody in the community that would like to participate. Please reach out to Courtney. Let us know if you're interested. If there is anybody that has any problems with anything in the village as far as nuisance and abatement, you can always, at any time, whether we have a meeting or we don't have a meeting, you can always call into the town hall and let us know, because we go out and look at these properties regardless if we have a meeting or not. So this is a every week thing. It's just not once a month. Our next meeting is March 10th at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you for the update. And we do appreciate the church and everything that they do. It is a huge amount of heavy lifting, and we look forward to getting this place cleaned up in spring. Planning, Ross.
No, we haven't had any meetings yet.
Yep. Okay, zoning, Craig.
Wasn't no meeting.
And Becky is absent tonight, so we will get her next go-round for tree beautification. That takes us to...
Can I just add
Oh, sorry.
something as far as, because it is a concern that, some people don't look at the website. Planning and zoning, it is based upon if there's a variance or if there's a subject matter from the director of zoning. Okay, so they don't meet most of the time unless there is a variance or...
Yeah, so if you're building a fence or you're going to put, a shed or something up, yeah. Okay. All right, that takes us to ordinances and resolutions. Shall we discuss ordinance 2025-01?
Yes, this is an ordinance accepting the 2025 estimated tax rates and revenues for the Mount Sterling of Ohio.
May I please have a motion to place this ordinance on the second reading, please? Thank you, Ross. Craig?
That was Ross. Craig, I'll roll call. Ross?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Passed on the second motion.
All right, and I'm checking my...
Would you like me to say it?
Yes, go ahead,
Okay.
please do that.
So this is, I think what Melanie had alluded to as well, is that there were changes. The work session held a recommendation.
Got it, thank you.
All of council was in attendance, and there was a recommendation that came out of that, which then gets brought to council. So right now, what we're gonna be asking for, at our last meeting, we had an ordinance 2025-02 that was approved and passed on a first reading. I'm going to ask a motion of council to redact the first reading of ordinance 2025-02 and replace that with a ordinance 2025-03. I will be reading that on the first motion, but this is a motion to redact that first reading of the former ordinance.
You have that motion.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, so that was David.
David.
And then Ross
Ross.
was second.
Mhm.
Okay, roll call. Barry?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
And Ross?
Yes.
Okay, I will be redacting ordinance 2025-02.
Okay.
I will be asking for a motion for ordinance 2025-03. It is an ordinance amending the rules of council. This will be placed on the first reading. This is the edits and recommendation that was a result from the work session.
Okay.
there
Is there a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay? That
Is
was
there a
Ross.
second?
I'll second.
Okay, David?
David? Okay, we'll place a roll call. Joyce?
No.
David?
No.
Craig?
No.
Ross?
Yes.
Okay.
Barry?
I just want to make my point. I want this to go back to the way it was. I vote no.
Okay.
Okay, ordinance 2023-03 has died.
Okay. So that means the motion itself has not passed.
Correct.
And so therefore, there is no first or second or third reading on any motion at this point. So there's no motion to amend the rules of council now that's outstanding.
And what currently resides is that there is a Park and Rec Committee, which is made up of 3 council members.
In other words, there has been no change,
No change.
So the rules of council are
as they
as
were.
they stand today.
Okay, resolution 2025-01.
Okay, is a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for the Ohio's Urban Forestry Grant Program. This is on the first reading.
I make a motion that we table it for right now.
Is there a second on that?
I'll
Okay, so
second.
Craig has placed a motion to table
And I will second.
Okay.
or the resolution 2025-01.
Yeah.
David was the second. Is there a roll call?
There's a discussion. I might have asked this earlier. I believe that the mayor has reached out to ODNR and we're waiting for more information.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, the whole thing is, my understanding is frozen. And so, yeah, we should use this time if there's an opportunity to explore the dollars and cents that are involved.
Okay.
There is significant debate as to whether this is going to go forward.
Okay. So we're just tabling it for right now?
Yeah, the
until-
feds are in control, not
Okay.
Andy. So it's whatever the
understand.
president.
Okay, so again, just so that we understand what this motion is about and the public understands, is that the ordinance or the resolution is not being, it's not being voted on, and therefore it's not gonna die, okay? And I use that term
Exactly.
die, meaning that it can't be brought back up as a motion. So what you're asking is, you're asking this to be tabled, and Craig made the motion, David made the second, there will be a roll call. Craig?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And David?
Yes.
Okay.
Resolution 2025-01 has been tabled.
All right, we're now on to roundtable.
I'd like to bring up for roundtable night, I think we talk about communication. I've heard some of the people from the audience, and I think communication keeps everybody organized, and sometimes I believe we got communication, get the word out, which we do a lot, and I get thinking about it. Today's Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and there was communication for him. He had a whole country that was divided, and right now our whole country right now is divided again. And sometimes I think we don't have to bring God into the situation. Sometimes we leave God out of the situations. And I know some people think I get over talking about this, but I still think we got to keep God in our government to get the situations in hand. Sometimes it gets out of hand, but as long as we got a God, we got a country. And if we get away from God, we won't have a country. And that's all I got to say.
All right, any other comments at roundtable tonight?
I-
We'll be having open public comments in just a moment. This is roundtable for council. Just a second.
I have some comments. I mentioned earlier some things going on in the community, and I just wanted to kind of add to that. I'm kind of excited that, you know, we do have a relatively new business in town. We have a new florist in town. You know, I hear some things, the town's dying and, you know, we're not growing, and you don't have to have a new housing development to grow. We're growing business-wise as well. We have a new florist. We have the Next Gen Activity and Care Center that's adding programming for younger children. I see they're planning events for spring. I see a farmer's market popping up. I'm excited. I know they have parents' date night and where they take children, so the parents can have evenings. I'm waiting for her to have women's night out so that we can drop our husbands off, or vice versa, whatever. I'm excited about those things. We have an American Legion. We have 2 new restaurants that I know of right now. Farmer's Table, Coop's Wings. I know my son and his better half have used the Coop's Wings from time to time and love it. My heart hurts that our beloved Ben and Joy's has closed. We're so sorry to hear of that. That was a great loss to our community. But our American Legion is very proud to still be open for breakfast and lunch. They're expanding on their events this year that will be open to the community. They're offering events for children. I know they're doing Easter egg hunts, and they do face painting at different events. They're doing, they do things at Halloween for the kids, just like the Youth League and other things do. So when people say they can't find things for their kids to do, I wonder, maybe we should be more diligent in advertising. I'm not sure. I know the 4th of July, they're expanding that this year for our community. The auxiliary membership alone has grown 123% in membership, which means we can support more people. Their donation base and their charity giveaways have grown astronomically. I know they helped our village to the tune of $7,900 this Christmas by helping people that needed assistance with their utilities. So they were gracious enough to give a huge donation to our village to help the people in need. This council loves our village. We love Mount Sterling. We support our youth. We love our working parents, and we love our retired population. We support our local businesses, the new ones, the old ones, and we always will. We encourage you to please continue coming out to the meetings. We love seeing you. The more people we have here, the more fresh ideas we can get from you, and we appreciate all of that. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your Girl Scouts, bring cookies, and thank you very much for taking the time to listen to us this evening.
I have one last announcement for Roundtable, and that is I want to remind everybody that the Friends of the Library annual Victorian Tea and Dolly and Me is coming up this Saturday from 2 to 4 at the Community Center. You are encouraged to come in full Victorian outfit if you have that, and also bring your dolly if you have one of those as well. And last year we had almost 160 people show up for that. It's a huge event. It's the main fundraiser for Friends of the Library over the course of the year. They do an absolutely outstanding job supporting the library. And it's a great time for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're big or small. You have a great time, and it's just a great themed event. So please see us at the Community Center over the weekend. I will be there, and I might even have a top hat. So there you go. They do. They have silent auction fundraisers throughout the entire thing. The whole thing is posted in the Friends of the Library. And please come out. Please consider coming out and bringing all of your friends, neighbors, and children.
Mayor, may I bring up one
Will
more?
they post that before the event, like what the silent auction basket giveaways are?
I believe that they will. I think that they're out there right now, as a matter of fact.
Mayor, can I bring up one more event? I
Sure.
forgot. Just about 4 days ago, there was a Korean War veteran, and he lives in Circleville, Ohio. He came here and he looked at our monument, and he recognized a couple of names that was with him in his platoon. And I happened to be taking my walk, and I walked over there, and I noticed he's sitting there, and a big tear was coming down his eye. He said, "I remember these two men," and sometimes I don't think we thank our veterans enough. And I sat and talked to him, and I growed up in a military-style family, and sometimes we got to take time to shake these men's hands, and the emotions they still have. There's this man, 80-something, and still had emotions, what happened to him in Korea. And seeing that monument, and I stood up with him, and we saluted the flag together, and he said, "Well, people think I said, "No." I said, "You serve your country, and I just want to take time out that how much this monument means to people in Veterans Square."
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
nice.
Thank you very much. Any other comments for Roundtable before we have open public session here? Okay, no other comments for Roundtable. Again, if you want to have a public comment, 3 minutes, and come down for a microphone, please state your name again.
Okay, my name's Melanie Fritz, 471 Wingate. My understanding of what just happened, you guys ex-nayed what you voted on last time, said no to whatever you did in the last work session, so you guys got to come back for another work session?
No.
We're done.
When do you get the rules of council?
Everything's back the way it was, just the
Done.
way it
You have to
was.
Adopt the rules of council?
No,
No, it's all done.
So the
already
rules of
done.
council adopted this year?
doesn't need to be. It's already in force.
Okay, so my other question, Joyce, you said Parks meeting, does that mean you're the chair?
I am.
Okay, I would recommend that you probably not do that. You're the one who was kind of trying to push the committee out. You're the one who didn't want to hold meetings last year, get things rolling, said there was no business to take care of. I really don't understand why you would want to make yourself chair. Your words say one thing, your actions say something else. It seems like you're not interested in it, so I don't really understand why you would want to chair it. Okay, so I only have 3 minutes. I want to get this fast. The end of the last meeting, when you guys all voted yes on what you just turned down tonight, Dave over there voted no, along with Miss Martin. Barry, you said, at the end of the tape, you said, "Thanks a lot, Dave." And Joyce, you called him a traitor. Would you guys like to elaborate? Who was he
Yes,
trading?
I would love
He
to.
was
I would
standing
love
up for the
to.
community.
I would love to answer you.
Okay.
I care about the people. I want the people to have a voice. What you just let us vote down was to make sure that 3 council members are on this committee. Instead of the people on the committee, you wanted us to vote to have 3 council members on that committee. You get what you
I
want.
want 3 council members that
You got
care
it.
about the park.
You have 3 council members that care about that
I
park.
care about
Your words
those.
say one thing, your actions
Good.
do nothing else.
Sit back and watch the park take off.
Are you gonna have monthly meetings?
I'm going to have meetings when we need a meeting,
So
yes.
no, you're not gonna hold them every
I'm going to
month?
have meetings when they are necessary.
So, it sounds like it's gonna be just like it was last year.
Can I ask you a question?
He needs
What-
to finish his
what-
statement.
What business do we have right now at the park? What business?
Well-
Tell me. I'd like to know. What business do we
There's
have?
always business. I
What? Tell
served
me.
for
Tell
2
me
years
one.
on this.
Tell me one.
I served for 2 years.
Tell
on
me
council.
one thing
There
that we
was not
have to meet.
1 month that we didn't have something going on.
What is it?
I don't know, because we haven't had a meeting since August.
the middle
There
of
was no
winter.
business to deal with.
Because you're doing nothing for it.
What? There's no money
We
to
got our
do
hand, we
something
got the
for it.
swings. We got
Let's
the
talk about
handicap
the water
swing.
tower. How much money or is this all grants? Is this coming out of our coffers, or are we taking loans for this water tower?
Yes.
We're taking loans.
So
If we
the
have
answer
to.
is, if you want to really get into this, we can go with a finance session where this was discussed earlier today, but I agree with you, we should probably talk about this. So the vast majority, let's say about half, 51%, is done with a U.S. Army Corps of Engineering grant. That is then layered on by an Ohio Public Works Commission grant, and then there is a U.S. EPA loan, and then there will be probably an expected HARPA money, which we funded when you were on council. And then there was a US EPA loan, which is available to us should we opt to spend it.
Okay, so we are taking loans. That's what I'm hearing.
We have opted to sign up for it. We have not decided whether to spend it.
So, how will this loans affect us taxpayers? Will it be tacked onto our water bills to pay it? You keep saying you don't have money to pay
Currently,
a
no.
simple
No.
Parks Committee or do anything besides this water tower. I'm just wondering, when we build this water tower,
I mean,
are we gonna?
the water tower is $2 million, right? I mean, so it's a pretty,
Well, let's be clear,
pretty big chunk of
when
money.
it was applied for 3 years ago, did we all predict that inflation was gonna be the way that was?
It was 1.3 million.
No, we didn't. So unfortunately, you can't go back to a loan grant, Army Corps, and ask them, hey, inflation happened, can we actually borrow more money?
I'm just worried.
Unfortunately, that
So,
can't.
so this is why it is,
council-
so let me finish, I'll answer you directly. So this is why it's so important to have carryover from year to year and have a piggy bank. Because once you have a piggy bank, you do not have to go back to residents with a handout and say, I want another $50 on your water bill. So it's so important to say, I'm gonna shepherd what I got, and I'm gonna save some of it year to year to year. So if there is a big Mongo thing that comes out there, I can write a check for it and I am good to go. And I don't have to go borrow. I'm trying so I have stated as mayor about 5 bajillion times that I am against borrowing. Where I can absolutely positively not borrow any money, I am not borrowing any money. Why? Because we have 7 loans in this village. Now, I didn't create this situation, but I sure as heck am going to try to figure out what we're going to do about it. Now, we are paying off loans in the order of expensiveness, all right? So we're trying very hard to get rid of debt. We have tried very hard not to incur new debt, particularly when I've been advocating for not taking additional loans. Every time someone comes in here and says, don't worry about it, 30 years, 1%, you got it covered. The first thing I say is, where's the revenue coming from? Right?
Right.
So it's reasonable to say someone ultimately has to pay the bill. This is why it's so important to save up and have carryover from year to year. And so my response, hold on, my response, let me finish. My response to that, and unfortunately we have a situation tonight where inflation has occurred. None of us in this room created this inflation. It happened. We are going to have to deal with it. Why? Because we're so far in. So the short answer is I'm lining up with the help of all the people in this room, every option available. And if ultimately we have to take a loan, you all are going to find out about it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if we have to take a loan, we're going to have the revenue to pay for it. That's at the
certainly
at the
hope
end
so.
of the
I certainly
day.
hope
At the
we're
end of the
not
day,
building
I have to be
another-
honest with you. It's very black and white. We have a chunk of grant money, which is going to cover about 70, 80% of it. And then it's up to the rest of us to figure out where we're going to do with that gap. That's it.
And I think we also need to preface the fact that it's not our decision to do this. We have been told by EPA, you have to do a new water tower. What better time to do it than when we can get it 75% paid for through a grant.
I'm not denying that. I hear that could be loans, and I'm worried about my taxes. I'm worried about my water bill that's already too high as it is. I'm worried about the people on a fixed income in this community that maybe can't afford another tax hit or more on their water bill. I'm just asking because I haven't heard it. I'm not here for every finance meeting. I can't make it. I'm sorry. I work. That's most of us here in the community.
You don't need to be sorry,
And
but
we
the
just-
fact
we want
remains,
answers.
the fact remains is we're working our tails off to give these people options.
All I hear.
And if ultimately we don't have to borrow, you have my commitment. I don't want to borrow either. I didn't create 7 loans that we already have outstanding. Lord knows, I don't want to add to that.
I hear a lot from these meetings how you guys don't have money, you don't have money, you don't have money, you can't do this.
Realistically, that's because we're trying to
I'm
have a
worried.
piggy bank.
I am worried. Do we really not have money? I want Mount Sterling to grow. I want it to be somewhere for people to want to come live. What are people aren't going to be like, oh, let's move our family to Mount Sterling because they got a new water tower. No. They're going to be like, hey, let's move our family to Mount Sterling. They got a great youth league. They got a great park. They got beautiful tree-lined streets.
And they have
you
beautiful
guys-
schools.
And
Yeah,
on
and
that
schools is a big thing
and on that
too.
note, if we could have your wrapping up thoughts, because we're now at almost 8 past the hour. So, thank you for your comments. I agree. Pastor, please come down. We'll go for another one.
Phil Starr, 218 West Main Street.
Thank you.
Don't remember that? Just we're good. But I just have questions, just clarifying questions, which I'm still confused about the park committee. Like, I remember last week's vote and this week's vote. So do we currently have a park committee?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Okay, and so that's ran by, it's not like the Friends of the Park.
No.
No.
It's 3
actually
council
ran
members.
by-
It's just like it was for the
3
last
council
With a
members.
council member on, heads it up, and then.
two,
all that jazz.
three.
3 council members.
All that jazz. All right. And then, and so, I guess the other question was last time, like the last YouTube video I watched, there was like a $900 compensation.
No.
Can I-
I'm saying, I don't
I want to
understand.
point, I don't want,
Yeah.
the $900 come up because there was 2 members on council that fought, and I was the third person, and they fought the whole year. And I say, what a waste of $900, because it's $25 per committee member. What a waste of taxpayers' money that they sit there for a whole year and do nothing but fight. That's where the $900 come up. That was it. Why do we pay why does taxpayers pay $900 just to listen to 2 people fight? That was it. That was,
Okay, that
I'm the
makes
one that
sense.
brought that up, but it gets turned around like it's
Totally
some
The other
fine.
question I had then was like,
Yeah.
I thought I heard last on YouTube, I
Yeah.
watched it on YouTube, that you do have a budget towards the park and rec space, right?
do.
Like, it's not just the $900 for committee members. There's actually a budget for it, right?
We do, yes, there's a budget for maintenance at the park, there's a budget for improvement at the park.
Almost,
So,
okay.
yeah, and we will be spending approximately $7,500 this year to improve the electrical service at the park and then add lighting.
So the other question I had, real quick, Barry, is earlier in today's session when Julie was talking, there was a statement made that the reason you don't get rid of other committees is because they're financially backed. But it seems to me that this committee is also financially backed. Am I not reading that correctly?
No, and I'm sorry if I didn't clarify that, Julie. What I mean by that is you have a finance committee, you have to have a finance committee,
Yeah.
and that's run by 3 council members as well. You have a water committee, you have to have a water committee as well. Those are different. Those and the streets committee, those aren't entertainment.
So they're utilities.
Those, right, those pretty much run the village. Those are the committees that we have to have. Park and Rec is entertainment for our youth. It's important. We don't take it any less seriously.
That
but-
might be the difference then, I think.
Could be.
Because I think what you're hearing is a lot of people don't see it as entertainment, but they see it as
Of
something
course.
that's a utilitarian part of making the community better.
It is a
So if there's
value,
philosophy difference-
it is a valued part of our, it's an investment into our youth,
Yeah,
is
I
what
see
I
that.
look at it as.
Well, I would say also our community. Like I was talking to Arbor Homes,
Yeah,
things like that. and
yeah.
They're looking. Mason Park's a huge thing for them, right? They love having that park right there where they can develop homes.
Okay.
And so I would say it's more than just youth. It's actually a thing. It is a utility because it's useful, functional part of making our community better.
Right, but I don't compare that to the other 3.
Oh, yeah, I mean-
It's different, but it's still
It's not the
necessary.
same apple,
We-
but it's still the same function.
Right, which is why we say we're not dismissing it, we're just trying to restructure it. Well, that obviously isn't going to happen, so council has decided to leave it the way it is.
And my concern would only be that I think someone said, might have been Becky last time, that said, you know, and I know as a leader in a church, right? Things don't get done if you don't have a leader in charge of it.
Right.
And as much as we wish that volunteers would do everything, having an accountable leader, especially to you, Mayor,
Right.
is beneficial, and a team for you to work with a team. Good leaders work with teams.
Right.
And so I would always recommend, don't change it, keep a team.
I agree. And honestly, you know, there's this semblance of I don't know how to say this. I'm going to say it as nicely as I can. People don't think Becky and I like each other. We debate a lot. Now, I don't know how Becky feels. I've never asked her. Jacob, you might ask him. He seems to know how Becky and I feel about each other. But that's his opinion. Now, I can work with anyone. I can work with Becky just fine. She doesn't apparently want to work with me. That's fine. So I separated it. This year, I'm on the committee. People say I don't do anything on that committee. I did a lot last year on that committee. I am not going to toot my horn and tell y'all what I did on that committee last year. I'm not going to, you can laugh all you want to, but I did do a lot on that committee, and this council can tell you what I did.
Well, I just want to
Okay?
clarify expectations, at least from my
Yeah.
my place.
And I'm telling you, we're
I
going to
don't
do it
expect
again
people
this
to
year,
like
and we're
each
going to
other
do a
work
lot
together.
more.
You know,
So.
I expect a professional atmosphere.
Yeah.
to get
You know,
things
Absolutely,
done.
and we weren't getting there, sir.
So I don't-
That's
so
why,
I mean-
that's why we wanted to restructure.
I need to
Hold on,
bring this
hold
up
on,
too
one
right
at- one
now.
at a
You know,
time. One at a
Phil,
time, please. Hold on.
Phil, I got a real quick question. Let me ask you because we didn't do 2024 yet, but 2023, here's your three choices. How much did we spend on that park just to maintain it, not to add anything else? Did we spend 11,000, 22,000, or 44,000?
I want to go with 11,000, but I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, $44,000 just to mow the lawn and pay for insurance.
That was from donations. You can't.
No.
No.
Point of order. Point of order.
Please,
So I
one
guess,
at a
Barry,
time, one at a
My
time.
thing would be, that stuff doesn't really bother me, because I see it as something that betters the entire community. I mean,
Absolutely.
you know what I
But
mean? So if you spent $50,000 or $60,000 on parks and the canopy and better lighting on sidewalks,
Yeah.
it wouldn't bother me, because to me,
It's an
just-
investment.
it's a value. I have
I
a
know.
value for it, and so you could spend. So I guess that's not an argument for me.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, when that $900, add that on top of it, and that was not including donations.
I think it's a value-based decision.
And I believe with Melanie, I agree with her.
Yeah.
I want to represent the poor, the elderly. We have to spend our money wisely, be
Yeah,
frugal,
You're in a tough spot.
frugal with our money.
But I think what you're hearing from the and you know, I don't try to get into most of this
Yeah.
stuff. So is that you're hearing it's a philosophy issue.
So what we
It's
did is we just went back to the way it was.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring up one thing, though. I was one of the founding members of the Youth League years ago, and it's come a long way since. And we were an independent organization at that time, but time changed things and everything. But you got your vital things in your village, like your water and sewer. It has to be done. But I growed up playing Little League in the old days over here, and I think you still need to have that for the kids of their future, because I learned a lot of things from my coaches and stuff. And so, like I said, both things have to even out. And like I said, I heard about Joyce here, and Joyce works hard. Yeah, we had a disagreement, but I was willing to forgive, and that's the key thing. We got to forgive each other, and you're going to have disagreements. at
David
times.
knows why I said what I said. We've talked. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to
So one more,
air
my
that
time's
stuff.
probably up. So
Thank
one
you.
more thing
Thank you.
on my
Go
hand.
ahead.
I've got
Please do.
more.
Please
Go
do.
ahead.
Okay. So
It's on your hand.
the other comment was made, isn't it better that the people actually oversee it?
Yeah,
Okay, I would challenge that.
okay.
Yeah,
The people are overseeing it.
we thought about that.
'Cause we
And
voted for you.
were elected, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean?
We thought about
so
that.
you are overseeing it.
Yep.
And this is just a way that the people are able to express their opinion.
Right.
And so,
I agree.
so I would keep that in mind, that just because you are doing it and not a complete volunteer team, doesn't mean we don't understand that people are doing it. You know what I mean? That's-
All
We
right,
were just
thank
trying to
you.
fix the situation,
Thank you.
and
All right.
I think we have.
Okay. All right, I have 8 14
Daniel?
here this evening. If there's anybody else. Yes, sir. We have one more who'd like to speak. Two more. You go ahead. Go ahead. But I would ask 3 minutes a pop, please. State your name, address.
My name is Daniel Burgett, 184 New Street, Mount Sterling.
Astrological sign.
Virgo.
Are you? Okay, just checking. All right.
We have that in common?
No.
In favor, you never know. Never know. I have been recently elected the commander of the SAL for the American Legion, Sons of the American Legion, for those who don't know. There has been a changing of the guard as of August.
Okay.
Things have changed. There is an old regime and a stigma that is there. I'm here on behalf of the American Legion to let you all know that is not the regime that is in place. We are charging forward. Our membership for the SAL, which has not had a meeting in 9 years. 9 years. Until November, we are up 111%. Actually, our new numbers just came in before I got here, 117%. Our Sons of the American Legion have surpassed the membership of the American Legion itself.
Kudos.
Which is fantastic. It is a present to the community. It is a present to the veterans that have served for the American Legion. And the main reason why that I'm here tonight is because I'm not a big social media guy. I stay away for a multitude of reasons. But this, over the last couple months, in regards to following the council, following YouTube, following the comments and the social media and the things that have been expressed, the American Legion has been mentioned in several posts, and I'm here to assure each and every one of you sitting at this council that that is not the presentation that the American Legion holds. We are changing, we are moving forward. So whatever your thought was prior to is no longer. So these arguments that we see on social media in regards to parks, community, all of these other things, I've been fortunate enough to be within contact of certain members of the committee, of the council. And they have expressed to me some of their concerns in regards to social media and everything else that have been posted by members of this council. And I'm here to refute every single one of them because they're not true in regards to the American Legion. That is the stance that we take. In regards to the parks, our meeting tonight, this is why I'm the last person here because our meeting ran long. We have dedicated several volunteers to whatever the council has coming forward, i.e. movie night, things of those nature. Whatever the American Legion can do for this community is what's important. And that is what we're going to do in that regard. So everything that you're seeing on social media, I can promise you, as a representative of the American Legion on the executive board, as a commander of the SAL, and as a future runner for the commander of the American Legion, that is not what we do. That is not who we are. That is not who we're going to be. We are devoted to working with the council 100% in regards to this community. You guys have authorized and voted on and elected a certain amount of money for a new fire truck, okay? And caveat, I have taken the time to speak with Chief Taylor, and he is ever so grateful for what he has received. The American Legion itself, and I will not disclose the dollar amount, has donated quite a few dollars for the benefit and the upgrade to further what you guys have given to our first responders who deserve so much more than what we can give them. And to caveat, again, the American Legion represents exactly what this says, veterans, first and foremost. And if that is clouded in any way by your social media hiccup or your follow or your trend or your YouTube, I can tell you right now, until I see your butts in the seat at a meeting, you don't know nothing. Because it's not the regime that it was. And we are fully in support of the council and everything that they do. Moving forward, we look forward from the auxiliary to the SAL, to the American Legionnaires as a whole. We look forward to working with the community moving forward, and I would really and truly encourage each and every one of you, if you got time, the first Monday of every month, that's the Legionnaires meeting, you are allowed to be present. You just don't have a voice if you're not a member. But you can hear everything firsthand, and I would encourage that same action here tonight. Every meeting that they hold, get it firsthand. Don't get it from the he said, she said. Don't get it from Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, whatever. Put your butt in the seat, get it here, let your voice be heard, because that's what these veterans fought for. They fought for your voice. They fought for that right. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate the time.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments this
Hey,
evening.
you brought
Thank
up
you
a
for
good
coming out.
point. You know, I'm out there, you know, a lot of
And I'm
times.
still waiting to see you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we
Remember
got,
the SAL chaplain?
yes, yeah.
I
Hey,
got bummed about it.
yeah, good to see you, brother.
All right, one last speaker this evening. Let's go ahead and have you at this microphone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
dude.
Caitlin Cole, 25 Autumn Hayes Court.
Thank you.
And I will try to be quick, and I apologize for my inexperience, but I wasn't sure if I needed to bring this up. I know that Joyce was nice enough to mention that I tried to at least start a Mount Sterling made-from-scratch market at the new Next Gen Activity and Care Center. I'm the owner. So I wanted to just bring that up to see if I'm able to, do I need to like ask for motions of advertisement or anything like that? So that was just something I wanted to at least check with everybody on, that that it was okay to
I don't think
proceed.
so. I don't think so. We need our permission. I
Okay.
think as long as it's your space use is okay and
Yeah.
all of that good stuff, and the health department, I don't know if the health department would get involved, but we can help you out. I'd be happy
Okay.
to do so.
And that's what I was just kind of, I'm
Yeah.
in ill experience, so I
Yeah,
just
no
wanted to at
problem,
least
no
check.
problem.
Let's
Let's help you.
Are you letting people set up booths?
So yes, they can bring their own tables, their own, back of the truck or tents, because we do have a bigger lot. As of right now, it's looking like maybe 15 to 20 vendors already are interested in just the first one. So I'm really hoping that this is going to bring a lot to our community in our area. I'm
And
really
it's just vegetables and fruit?
No, it's butters, breads, baked goods. We have essential oils, crafting.
Candles?
I haven't heard candles yet, but I know people were literally mentioning all kinds of things.
Candles?
So I hope that it grows. I plan on doing it the third Saturday of every month, and it's gonna start in March. I know that's a little early, but I figured, what the heck, we've been stuck indoors long
There you
enough.
go. All right.
That's
So
right.
It's been a long
we'll
winter.
try it out.
Okay.
A long winter.
All right, that was it.
All right,
I am so
thank you.
excited.
Me too.
All right, and on that note,
Thanks, Caitlin.
we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Well, I got a squad meeting to go to.
Oh, you got another meeting to get to.
Fired up.
Me?
Fired it up.
Did I do all right?
You did good.
Don't say anything.
Hi, Jason.
I have